How's everybody doing? It's Friday. It's Bitch Day. My name is Wade. I'm your host. I'm here all evening just to listen to you guys bitch. To bitch myself a little bit, maybe. Who knows? We got all sorts of fun and games coming your way tonight. I got a chap, Army Chris, going to be joining me here shortly. I hope. Things didn't go astray. I just talked to him a few minutes ago. He should be here shortly. We're going to have him on. He's going to tell us all about a new podcast he just started. Army Chris was in the Canadian military for 24 years or 22 years. We're going to get to the bottom of that. Did tours of duty all over the world. He's got a podcast that kind of breaks down. He started on September 11th, 2001, I guess it would be. The day the World Trade Centers were attacked. It's where he started his podcast. And he's going to work backwards to today with his podcast. Really, really interesting. I watched his premiere episode here the other day. I've watched it 3 times since. It's absolutely fantastic. So we'll be getting to that here shortly. We're going to do some simple math here in a little while. That'll be fun. And what else we got going on? Oh, record covers. That's what it was. Got some old records. I've got, I don't know, a couple thousand albums, a couple hundred CDs. I don't have any 8-tracks left, which is amazing because I had a shitload of those over the years too. None of those left, but got a bunch of record albums. We're going to go through those and see what transpires and see what you guys might have had. We'll discuss some of the tunes on those things and go from there. And nothing seems to be working tonight. I don't know why. My other computer doesn't want to work. This computer shows me that it's not working. I have no idea. I can't tell. My co-host in the other room hasn't sent me a story saying, hey, it's not working, or hey, it is working, or anything. So I have no idea. No idea what's going on. No idea what's working. Nothing. I can't tell. I just can't tell. Well, it shows me being live there. So that's a good thing, right? Yeah, I'm live there. So that's a good thing. We'll kill that though, so we don't get feedback. So yeah, just waiting on Chris and we'll get things going. I don't know what happened to him. Like I say, I know this much. He was hanging out with Jimmy, and Jimmy was hammered. So I don't know what went on there. Oh, hi, dear. How's it going? Good. Can't hear you. There you go. I hear you.
Bring down my antenna.
There you go.
Everything's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. No, it's just not showing up on my feeds over here. That's all. But it's showing up on YouTube, so it's all good. It's all good. If you want to watch on YouTube, just head over to YouTube. Type my name in. It's real easy. That's my name right there.
That's Pickfair.
That's my Pickfair page. Go to YouTube. That's Chris's. I don't have my YouTube thing up here today. I don't know why. There it is. No, it's Twitter. But instead of Twitter, type in youtube.com/munch34m. Just like that.
That's what I do. I just punch in Wade Holloway and here you are.
Or just do a search on Wade Holloway and there I are on the YouTube. Join in and that way if you're chatting with me, it's actually going to come through my chat stream. On Facebook, it doesn't work. It's I don't know what it is with Facebook.
I posted the link to watch you on through my page, so they can link to me through Facebook.
Cool. And yeah, so go to YouTube. Your mic's way too loud again. Go to YouTube and click on subscribe, like, hit the bell so you get notifications. That's better though. A bit. And I can hear your computer all the way in here.
It's a good microphone.
It's good wrestling. The problem is the headphones bleed through the microphone. That's what it is. to bleed into the microphone. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not working at all. That's fine. Whatever. I don't care. Go to YouTube. Wade Holloway. Subscribe. I can't think because your headphones are just going through the roof. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit the little bell, get notifications. Just waiting on Chris. He sent me a message saying he's ready. Yep, I'm ready. Waiting on you. Come on, buddy. Where we are. Simple math, we're going to get into that. That's that video I showed you earlier, though. That's some pretty powerful shit, when it comes down to the big debate of to do or not to do. It's something we haven't touched much on over the course of these, I don't know, how long have I been doing this, 16 weeks? 17 weeks? I don't know, something like that. And we haven't really touched on it that much other than to bitch about it. Because it's just something that...
Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay, I just changed it to communications headphone.
There we go. Right on. Hey.
Sorry, buddy. I had to rejoin.
No worries. No worries. Chris, this is my wife, Doe. Doe, this is Chris.
How are you?
Hi, Chris.
And JT. Alrighty. We're going to get right into this. Chris. JT. Chris, what rank were you in the military?
I was a warrant officer.
Warrant officer. Doe, do you want to jump out? I'll jump here.
Yeah, I'm going to jump out.
There. That's better. Now we can hear.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Her mic and headphones just drive my system crazy when I have a third party
I assumed it was me immediately.
No. I know exactly what the problem is, and I don't know why it is, but it's only when I have three parties involved in the chat, and I don't know. It's a mystery. It's one of those bugs. And JT, of course, you were a warrant officer as well.
Yes, sir. Pleasure to meet you as well, too. Thanks for having me.
Nice meeting you as well. I watched. I was talking to Chris a little while ago. I watched the first episode of the podcast, and wow, that's all I have to say. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
I appreciate that. I really do.
The story you're trying to tell, I don't know. It resonates with me personally. Just because of my family being involved in the military, my son-in-law. So it kind of resonates with me personally. I've found myself over the last 10, 15 years to just be more and more not involved with the military, but more aware of the military. The little things they do around Canada, for example, going into the hospitals in Quebec or into the old folks' homes in Quebec during this pandemic and taking over there, shoveling sidewalks. The little things you do within Canada for Canadians. Never mind going overseas and saving our freedoms, which both you guys have done. We'll get into that here in a little bit too.
Yeah.
Some of the mud and guts. So, Chris, tell us about your podcast.
So, well, let's rewind a bit. I released. When the fuck did I get out? We could swear on this, right? Is that okay?
Oh, fuck no. Please don't fucking swear. Oh, fuck. My mom might be fucking watching. Yeah, no, it's a free-for-all, brother.
So I released, my thing says I got out in 2014. Here's the reality. When we got back from our last tour in Afghanistan, I released in 2010. So that's my benchmark after 22 years. And it took a long time. And I've known this fucking cat for... How long now?
At least 10 years.
At least 10 years, because I was the best man at his wedding, which was how long ago?
That was 2010, but we met in 2007. So if you do the arithmetic,
so
10 plus years.
Whatever. I'm not good at the math. Anyways, I wasn't so savvy on the podcast type deal, but I knew that there's a communication gap between the military, the government of Canada, and the general population. And when you're in the military, you dog paddle through that system. And I knew I wanted to bridge that gap. And suddenly there's this medium called podcasts or shows on YouTube or whatever, right? And I thought, fuck, man, I really want to do this. My problem was I had no idea how to do it, and I'm still struggling through it. But the point was to create an environment where current serving members, veterans of Canada, the Canadian Armed Forces, or other allied military forces could come in an open environment and tell their story, unbiased, unedited, whatever they wanted to say. So I'm like, I'm doing this, and I'm doing it.
Right on. Like I say, the first episode blew me away. Just the casual conversations between you and JT. And we had talked earlier about how if you were going to do this just on a audio aspect or with the video, and I told you if I turn my back to it, you don't get the same effect. When I see the emotion on yours and JT's faces, it's very, very real and very, very commanding. You guys aren't bullshitting about anything. You're not trying to hand me a line. You're not, it's the raw truth about what's going on in the world today and on September 11th of 2001. And that's where you started your podcast. What you guys were doing on that day.
Yeah. And funny thing you mentioned that, Wade, because procrastination is kind of this problem I have. And
I put the pro in procrastination.
Right? So
yeah.
I was like, so this thing started what? You say 10 years ago.
If you don't mind me jumping in there, Chris.
Absolutely, jump in. Please do.
So for me, I really feel this was like an organic conversation that I really feel it happened 10 years ago when we came back from Afghanistan.
Yeah, we wanted to do something called Tales from the Deck. We're going to just sit on my deck and bullshit about things, but the audio wasn't so good.
Well, that again, it's tough to kind of set things up like that. But
you're right. We've talked about this for probably a decade now,
and it's interesting to see it come together. And I will have to say, Chris has been the complete driving force on this. I've kind of just jumped on his coattails, and I'm honored. I'm actually flattered that you had me as your first guest for.
You're what was available.
It's true. I was the only one to pick up the phone.
I'm fucking with you. No, like I had a lot of guys. I ran through my head like, how are you going to map it out? Who's going to be guest one? And I think it really the driver behind how I even got it going, like really kicked me in the ass, was the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. So it made the news. You need to understand that there is an entire generation of Canadians that have no idea what happened on September 11th, 2001. They don't, because they were either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and they're now in their 20s. Like, they have no fucking clue. So I'm like, man, and that really kind of drove a stake into the heart of guys like me and him that were over there and kind of put it all out there to help the people over there. And then that happens, and it happens so fast. And I talk about it on my show, so I'm not going to drive into that here. But I will say that it kind of motivated me to progress my efforts forward to get this done. And one of my best friends, guy I was there with, it made the most sense to have JT on the show first. Not because he was readily available, which he was. I'm not gonna lie.
Works cheap, yeah.
So yeah. So it's like, make it happen fast. So I had bought all this shit that you guys can't see right here, but it's all behind me right now. And I spent the bulk of the last year figuring how to work it and driving on the expertise of gentlemen like yourself to try to get the lighting right and the visuals right. And I've had other friends that are in media, guys from Cruise FM who you know, that said, fuck, man, stop trying to get so technically perfect and just spit your story out. Because if you're telling a good story, they're not worried about your lighting. They're not worried about your backdrop. They're not worried about any of that shit. Spit out a good story. So I went, well, I want the best of both worlds because I'm fucking stubborn. So that's kind of how it got going. To be honest with you, had the recent events not occurred, I probably would have dogged it for a few more months trying to perfect everything. So, yeah, here we are.
Yeah, it's funny how this came together with you.
Went off on a fucking tangent, never came back.
What's that?
Does that answer your question? Because I feel like I went off on a tangent, never came back.
No, you got her. You covered it.
Okay.
But I was just going to add that last Friday on the podcast, we kind of got into my wife and I discussing where we were on 9/11. She was at work. I was at home with the boys.
Yeah, tell me your part.
Oh yeah, I was at home with the boys. My wife worked at Costco at the time. Started at 3 in the fucking morning or some stupid god awful hour.
Yeah.
So I was the house husband and working the odd job here and there, doing some freelance radio shit, some mobile DJ stuff and shit like that. So I'm home with the boys at 8 o'clock or whatever time it was in the morning. On the internet, which was kind of new to us. I was a news junkie in those days, and made a deal with the wife. I'd give up all my newspaper subscriptions if we get the internet. So that's what we did. I'm in a chat room. We're in a game room that had a little chat room beside it, and nobody ever chatted in this chat room. We were playing this game. Nobody said a damn word in this chat room. All of a sudden, it light up like a Christmas tree. A plane just hit the World Trade Center. Now, I'd done some reading on the World Trade Centers. They're 1/3 of a mile up into the sky. They were designed so that small craft would bounce off them. You know, you'd kill the pilot and whoever else was on the plane, but it wouldn't damage the towers in any way.
Yeah.
So I turned the news on. I flipped around and turned the news on behind me. And oh yeah, okay. And same deal that you explained. Smoke billowing out of the one tower there, and holy motherfuck, there's another plane. Boom. And my thought instantly, yeah, we're at war. What do I do? I'm at home with 2 small boys, and I didn't panic, but it's just that instant. Do I send these kids to school? Do I keep them home? So I turn around, I turn the TV off before they saw anything.
What do you do?
And you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to send them to school. It's a normal day. They're probably safer at school than they are at home with me trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in the world, because I'm going to solve it. That's my personality. I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to fix it, for the whole world. That's my first instinct. Send the boys to school, phone my business partner, and we had some stuff we were doing. We were running around Edmonton and shit. And he's, no, well, we'll continue. We were delivering some flyers for travel agencies at the time, too. So we'll continue on doing that. So we went and picked up a load of flyers in my little minivan and went. My first delivery was to the airport. And I pulled into the airport into the taxi stand back before the renovations took place. So on the lower level, they had the big taxi stand there where all the taxis lined up to grab incoming flights. And these guys are cheering and yelling and jumping up and down. And it's like, get the fuck out of my country.
Wow.
Like, just get the fuck out. Now, CTV News pulled up behind me, and the girl come up and she asked me a couple of questions about, what have you seen out here? I says, well, go interview the taxi drivers. They're over there having a great time. This is their Super Bowl. They just won the World Series. They have the Stanley Cup over. They've won everything. Go talk to them. So she made her way down there. I don't know if she ever did talk to them. I got my way out of there before I got myself into some trouble, because I was ready to lose my shit. Phoned Steve and told him what was going on. He said, well, just head downtown and do your deliveries downtown and call it a fucking day. So I went downtown. All the towers were closed. I was like, oh, hey, this is pretty serious shit. So I just headed for home and called it a day and got back into the internet, finding news. What else is going on? And that's when I found out about the Pentagon being hit and the other plane that landed or crashed into the field and so forth. Yeah. And as the name started coming out, Ace Bailey was one of the people that were killed in the towers, in one of the flights in the towers. And he was a hockey player who played for the Boston Bruins. He was also a guest coach at a hockey school that I was in. So I didn't know him, but I kind of knew him. And that's when it really hit home.
Yeah, it was a fucked up day. I try to think that I prepared myself mentally in my career and certainly I'd like to think I'm there now, but I'm probably not. That you can deal with anything thrown at you, you can handle it. But when you see something like that back in that day, there's nothing. Like, you will stop and pause and go, what the fuck just happened?
Yep.
It'll be a long pause because it takes you a long time to process something like that, because that's people that live in North America are not. Let me rewind. Having deployed to overseas a few times, war fighting and shitty things and explosions and bad things happening is a routine day-to-day thing, as you well know, JT.
Yep.
We're not used to that. North Americans, whether it's Canadians or American citizens, are most certainly not used to seeing shit like that. So it's a difficult thing for them to process, which was entirely the intent of the enemy to put on them. That's what terrorism is.
Right, causing terror.
Stop you in your tracks, disrupt your way of life, and crumble your infrastructure because you cannot respond to it. That's what it's about. And I know that firsthand because I've lived it. And then you get over to places over there, and that's just daily routine. So you're like, who's really weak to this? I can tell you right now, it's us. Because over there, the innocent population, unfortunately, it's fucking daily routine to them. Where here, tell me prior to I challenge anybody to tell me when the last serious act of violence committed on Canadian soil was. Let me know. Come on. Send in your text, because I guarantee you most people in their lifetime in this country have never lived through that shit.
But
Not
remember,
from an outside source. There was the school massacre in Quebec there a while ago at the university, the women's university. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
And that's fair. If you're talking about domestic violence created by fucking gun nuts, blah, 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 you're not wrong. But I'm talking about a foreign enemy imposing its will on our country. Tell me when in this country, not the United States, when was the last time there was an act of terrorism committed by a foreign help me out here.
like somebody that obviously had negative motives.
You understand what I'm saying? When was the last time that happened?
Yesterday. Barack Obama endorsing Justin Trudeau.
Well, fuck. Here's the thing. I don't get into politics and I don't read it. Because the flip side of that is you can say, well, Brian Mulroney endorsed.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, I'm not doing politics, brother.
No, we're not. No.
That's a tangent I'm not going to go down.
No, that was just me trying to be funny.
It was a nice jab, and I do appreciate it.
Bring on the midget. Yeah.
Most Canadians, my point is this. Most Canadians have no concept of foreign kinetic activity, if you will, against Canada. None. Zero. Fucking zero. They have no idea what it looks like when a bomb explodes in downtown Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Edmonton, whatever. They have no clue.
I agree.
Where a terrorist organization claims responsibility for it. That shit they watch on CNN, which is then catapulted to CTV News or whoever, CBC, that's what they see. They see that, well, that happened over there. We're good here because we all love the world and they love us. That is not fucking true. I'll tell you what. So somebody asked me, I am getting semi-political here, but I'm going to fucking back off. But I do have a point. There is one point I'm going to make here. A lot of people ask me, well, why are we in Afghanistan? So we're transcending the original point of this conversation into 9/11. From 9/11 to why we went there for 14 of 20 years before it epically failed. Here's the question. Why were we there? And if you've been over there like me and him have, and I've been over there twice, and I got a lot of fucking brothers that have been over there 3, 4, 5 times, like some hard hitters that have put time in over there. And here's the reality. Would you rather have us fight them over there or here? So that's my question to the Canadian public. Where do you want me to fight them? Fucking here or there? So that's why we're over there, is to contain it to that battle space, to try to convince the local population. And most of those people are good people. I can tell you that, hand on my heart, and JT can tell you the same thing. And I'll shut the fuck up here in a second, but you got me in a moment.
You go, man.
I can tell you right now, I would rather fight them over there than fight them here. So every day, your typical Canadian citizen wakes up, goes to work, bitches about the government, whatever government they're in, doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to me. I don't give a shit about governments. Never have, never will. They have the luxury of waking up, and I'm not trying to sound like Jack Nicholson on, what was that fucking stupid lawyer movie he was in?
Jack Nicholson in a lawyer movie.
The Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, wait, are you talking about?
Never mind. You good man.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound like him, but there's some you can take something out of that. At the end of the day, the shit that we go do over there is so we don't have to do it here. So you can go about your day-to-day business and not fucking worry about it and only read about it on CNN. So that's kind of a bit of the thing. The second piece to that is to keep that from continuing, to prevent it from, evolving, is to try to convince the good people of those countries, these shit countries that we go to, that you need to change your ways and try to get these people out of your lives. And that's not really what happened in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, they lack the moral fiber to rise up. Although I think we'll see some changes. But I guess at the end of the day, I kind of had a point here. What the fuck was it?
I think you're speaking to resiliency, and at the
resilience is a big term. Yeah. It's not easy. So, at the end of the day, what we want to do is keep the fight out of Canada and keep it over there. Now, where we are over there, I guess we'll come to that. So I'm gonna kick it back to you to see which direction you want to go, because I'm really gonna go down a path here.
Just to hop in. Yeah,
no. Let JT say some shit.
Yeah, jump in.
I gotta collect my thoughts. I know we're live here, so.
Well, big thing.
That's okay.
Is resiliency. Whether there's a lack of resiliency here, and with our neighbors over in Afghanistan having to live these traumatic incidences every single day, they have an astronomical amount of resiliency, but at the same time they're tired. There's a fatigue, and with that is, who are you going to buy? Like, which government are you going to buy into to try and create some stabilization, right? And we saw that.
That's a tough question.
We saw that, right?
And bear with us. We're absorbing a lot here as guys that have served over there. Like the changes that happen so fast, man. Unbelievably quickly. Faster than anybody with half a brain who's been there or analyzes what's going on over there can process. So it's very difficult to just simply spit out, well, this is what happened, and this is where it is now, and this is what's going to happen. You just can't compartmentalize it that way. It doesn't work that way.
And to add to it, I don't know if Wade, if you're hopping in there, this is an excellent example of like generational trauma. Sorry, excellent example of like generational trauma. Like that's what is happening in all these climates, like East, Iraq, everything. So
that's a good point. So it'll be interesting to see, and I will shut up after this, Wade, because I'm sure you got some questions, because we're off on a fucking tangent here. But here's one thing. Afghanistan has seen 20 years So we talk about 20 years of being there, ending in, you can calculate it to failure, which I'd like to talk about later, because it's not failure, but I'll come back to that. Let's flip the coin. You got 20 years of Afghans who've grown up without Taliban rule.
Right.
So what are they going to do? And you know how the youth is. Like, these young fuckers, man, they want to bitch about everything. They do it over here. I'm very curious to see if the anti-Taliban old guys that are like my age and his age, well, my age,
Your age.
yeah, you'll get there. Don't worry.
You know how old you'd be in Taliban?
Oh,
like in
I'll be like
Afghanistan?
900. I'll be like fucking Yoda, Jedi as shit.
You would be.
But there's a young generation of Afghans that grew up under the protection we provided while we were there. Yes, we're gone. Yes, they're upset. But fuck, man, in the words of Twisted Sister, we're not going to take it. Let's see how that goes. And you're seeing that in the news now.
It's funny you mentioned a generational thing, because when we talked about this last Friday, my daughter was on the other line with me, spewing off names of kids that she went to high school. She's 36. She was in grade 10 when all this went down.
Yeah.
She spewed off 36 names of warriors that she knew in high school that went over to Afghanistan and lost their lives. 36 names, and that was in a matter of 20 minutes, just off the top of her head. And that really got me to thinking, but that 20 years since then, these kids are only 36 years old.
Absolutely.
Right? My daughter's 36. So anybody that went over there with the military, they'd be 38, 40 years old right now.
Yeah.
Right? Probably JT's age, because he's just a young little shit. Right?
He is young, but he's a good-looking man.
That was a pup,
right there.
little pup.
Just no, he was still shit when we got over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that just floored me. I mean, I knew 3 or 4 of the kids, that went over there and lost their lives in Afghanistan. And then, of course, my son-in-law, lost his life 5 years after getting home from Afghanistan, being hurt pretty seriously. But, and now you mentioned this 20-year generation of Afghanis that grew up under, I don't want to say civilized rule, because it's war is not civilized.
Western ideals.
Western ideals, yeah. They can go to school. They could
a veiled blanket of freedom.
Yeah.
The Western world created this environment that they thought they're going to stay in, and that's not their fault. That's our fault, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
And they fucking grew up with an ideology of having the freedoms that you and I enjoy every day, and your kids enjoy every day, and suddenly that's ended. So what are they going to do now? I guess that's the real question.
Yeah,
it's go to that Pizza Hut down the street.
They're not going to be able to go to the Pizza Hut. No, that's up.
Well, that music's already been abolished over there.
Music.
Been in the music industry for years, and guys are running for cover and hiding and trying to get out of Afghanistan, left, right, and center. Just musicians, not
lots of pictures. Yeah, it's
just brutal. So it'll be interesting over the next little while to see if some of these kids in that 20-year span can step up into a more prominent role within a government organization or some organization that can bring some stability to the rule of the Taliban.
That's an internal problem. Like,
it is
cultural problem, right? Like for something like that to change, and for us, like when we were there, it was a whole government approach, and you have to go back to like even 1994 with Desert Storm and those missions where we were coming in, we were sorry, I shouldn't say we. The Western world was coming in, inflicting this trauma, removing, important supports to all the cultural aspects of these organizations. So the one thing you're removing fathers. You're removing fathers from these families. And the thing is you're not doing anything except for providing more trauma, an unstable environment, and you're breeding contempt, right, throughout this entire process, and you're not allowing that healing to happen. So the thing is you need a lot of length and you need a lot of depth to these types of missions, but at the same time, like, what's the cost, right? And so Chris and yourself, we've had these discussions, and we've mentioned, you know, leave the fight there, have the fighting end with us, and it's the same message that you would even hear from veterans from World War I, World War II. It's, we went and did this so that hopefully everything would be over. We wouldn't have to do this again. So again, I've mentioned that a few times, like generational trauma, but
sorry, I have dogs. Shut the fuck up. Is there
on Jimmy?
Questions? Is this live? Because there's people saying
things. Yeah.
You want to address any of that stuff? Right? It's your show, bud.
No, I'm just posting them up. That's all. Gwen says hey, and Doe's my wife. She says traditions will make their way back, or hopefully make their way back.
Small camera, so
yeah.
Yeah, so let's reset. Let's recenter the compass. JT, take over. I'll sort my dogs.
Let's get back to Chris's podcast, JT.
Sure.
And just try and pump that up a little bit as far as what's the end game? Is there an end game?
With the overall concept of Chris's
okay,
podcast?
Sorry, I'm back. Yes, there's an end game. Just get through it.
Just get shoot the nail, you know, and learn from. You know what? I think as long as you're learning from every podcast.
I don't want to turn this whole thing waste time into Afghanistan, because there's far more to what I'm trying to do than Afghanistan. So.
Yeah, exactly. You've done other tours as well. You were in Bosnia.
Yeah, hell of a place.
Yeah. And where else? Where was the other place you were?
Cyprus.
Sorry?
That doesn't count. Cyprus.
Oh, Cyprus, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we were in for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to broach it into any of that in your podcast?
I don't think so. So the whole point of what I'm trying to do is, I don't want everybody to think that everything I'm doing is about Afghanistan. I get it that, you know, kind of the bulk of what I've got on the wall for now that fits in frame, by the way.
Yeah.
Looks like Afghanistan, but it's not about that. It's Afghanistan was the topic at the time that kind of kicked me in the fucking ass to get this thing going. And I have a lot of guys that have their own stories, and there will be stories that are centric about Afghanistan. But that's not what this is about. This is not about me and what I want to do. This is about what I'm doing is, as I said earlier, or if I didn't say it earlier, it's because I'm drinking all day, is to create an environment for, like I said, for people to come tell their story. And they don't even have to be in the fucking military. It could be friends, family it's military centric, but you don't have to be a military member. Come tell me your story. So, you know, like, I think my next project, so people go, why so heavy on the video? Why are you trying to get the video right? I'll give you a good example. Veterans Association Food Bank in Edmonton has a lot of shit going on, and there's guys that do these walks where they go into the bowels of Edmonton's inner city to help homeless people, not just veterans. They're looking for veterans, but they'll help anybody. And I want to film that. One of the driving things behind what I'm doing is I've always wanted to be, since I was fucking knee-high to a duck, as a filmmaker. Unfortunately, life got in the way, Army life. But since at least the early 90s, I watched Robert Rodriguez' 60-Minute Film School, and I went, fucking man, I want to do that shit. And I just haven't had the chance to do it. And now I have the chance to do it. So I'm using this as a, you know, kind of to fucking springboard me into that. So it's okay, how can I tie that in? So it's like, I'm gonna go, I want to get do you know Bryce Hooper?
No.
You will. I want to get Bryce on the show. He does these walks. There's a couple of the cats that I know that are veterans that they walk the fucking alleys, whatever the frequency is, I don't know, looking for guys to make sure they're okay, taking their time to go down those fucking shitty parts of the city that you and I don't want to go to find guys and make sure they're okay, and then pick them up, reach that hand out and go, hey brother, I got you. And I'm like, I want to fucking be part of that. I want to capture that, and I want to have that conversation. So there's more to it than this lovely little backdrop that I've got here and bullshitting about what me and JT have been talking about for the last couple of weeks. There's more things I want to do. It's not just going to be this. It's going to be the whole story, the whole experience. A lot of it will be directly from Afghanistan, but it could be from Bosnia, Croatia, Cyprus, whatever it is. That's really not the point. It's about the military community, how it's affected, not just members. And it's not PTSD membership. It could be about, I got a good, we have a mutual friend that was killed in Afghanistan in 2008. His wife, I'm not going to mention her name right now. She's a gem. She's recovered well, moved on. Let's talk to the wife of a service member who was killed overseas, or anybody, a father, a son, a mother, a daughter, an uncle, an aunt, anybody that wants to talk about how, and not just death, just like tell me your experience about being connected to a member of the military. Could be fun. It doesn't always have to be fucking negative, shitty stories. Like me, we're not like that, man.
No.
We're pretty much drinking beer and bullshitting, even in the darkest of times. Dark humor is always a thing for us. So I want it to be at the end of everything I do, Wade, it needs to have a positive message and a positive outcome, if that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does. It does. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but today is Canadian Family Military Appreciation Day. I just came across that, like, no word of a lie, Chris.
Now we know.
Yeah, 10 minutes before we jumped on together, I was on Twitter, and that came across my feed, and I kind of went, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we don't really track shit like that. So.
No, I don't either. I don't either. It just popped up on my timeline.
He's still in the military, man. He should have told me.
I didn't.
Oh, you're still, JT's still in the military?
Yeah, still serving. I'm within the primary reserves.
I'll let him talk. I'll be right back.
Trying to do my piece.
I want my ex-wife. No, just come on in. Okay. She's a bit loaded right now, but we're live, so no one cares. Here, you sit.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm going to introduce my ex-wife and still my best friend, Jennifer.
Hi,
Jennifer. Nice to meet you.
What the fuck's your trade?
I'm an operator and technician.
An OR technician.
Oh man.
The Canadian Forces. She used to be an INTOP when I was in Afghanistan, so she knew more about what I was doing before I did, which created some stress. And she's leaving for Petawawa, Ontario tomorrow, which sucks to be her. So she's going to cover for me right now. This is live, by the way.
Okay, hi.
Where are you going?
I have to use the facilities.
Gotcha.
Hi. What are we talking about?
It's better. It's better sitting here talking live than babysitting a drunk midget.
Oh.
Or is he gone?
I'm hanging out. I was downstairs. A friend of ours is doing a Twitch show right now, and
Derek.
Yeah. Good times.
Cool.
And here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am.
If I may say though, Jen, hello, Chris, and just kind of add to what Chris was saying. I feel like there's a bit of a lag with us kind of documenting and capturing a lot of these experiences that the general public, like the general public and members don't necessarily feel safe to kind of discuss. And the environment that Chris created here was a very safe space. We were able to talk. We were able to, to share our experiences and shared experiences in Afghanistan. And at the same time, there was no judgment, right? And that's one thing that I feel, especially in the Canadian Forces, there's a bit of an air of or I guess a shadow, maybe that might be the better way to say it, is you're always kind of
A
concerned.
stigma.
A stigma. That's a better way to put it. Thank
Yeah,
you, Jen.
a stigma.
There's definitely a stigma with either just trying to share your experiences,
Yeah.
or being judged about your experiences.
Yeah.
And then
I'm going through
one-ups.
this right now. You know,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to talk about some of these things because of the stigma.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
funny you
really
mentioned safe
it and-
space.
Smoke.
I've
Yeah.
got a lady friend of mine. She's an author, and she
Hey,
dated
these guys are doing great. I know, but
my daughter's ex-husband who was in the military, and she wants to write a book about military experiences, dealing with the PTSD, dealing with trauma,
Yeah.
all the things we kind of touched base on a little bit here tonight. And the thing, she couldn't get guys to open up to her and be honest because it's not a safe space. You're talking to a stranger that's never been a part of it. It's like talking to me. I've never been a part of the military. So how do you open up to somebody that can't even begin to fathom the understanding of what you went through overseas? Right? I can't even begin to even guess at what you've seen, what you've done. And I don't want to. But how do you open up to somebody like that, right? So that's where she's run into a problem is guys will not open up to her. Whereas
I don't
with
blame
what
them.
I don't either. With what Chris has set up there, it is very laid back. And Chris was in the military. He knows what these guys have done. He's seen it. He's done it. He's been it. So yeah, there's your safe place. These guys will open up. You've got guys suffering from PTSD. If they come in to say they're 15 minutes, 20-minute piece, the way JT did in the first episode, they open up, even if it never makes it to air. The guy says, no, you know what? I don't want my story told. I don't want you to share it. Fine. At least he's opened up and got it off his chest, or, you know, you might have saved somebody from going into the basement and doing it. And, you know, that's huge. That's massive. So.
And really, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but just to kind of share some of my experiences after the podcast. There was, and Chris and I were kind of chatting about it. There was a weight that was kind of lifted from talking about this entire experience. And the thing is it could be compared. There's a certain trauma with everything that we do. Life, et cetera, but like with the military and what you're exposed to and what you're doing it's a very stressful experience. There is trauma that might be that you're going to be exposed to. But after we had that conversation, are you still there, Wade?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, right, just the screen changed. Well, they're
so good at this.
Well, the thing is, like we were talking about this earlier, you're not supposed to look at the camera, et cetera, et cetera.
You fucking look at the screen, man.
I can see that. Anyway, Chris ran me through put me through my paces. Like, don't look at the screen.
Clearly, I'm not done
Don't
yet.
worry.
More to learn.
This is so informal. Don't worry about it. I don't care if you're sitting there picking your nose.
Well, I don't want to do that.
My dog's in here wanting to play frisbee. That ain't happening either.
Well, and what JT was saying, I know for me specifically, I need to talk to people that have experienced trauma that is equivocal to what I've experienced. You know, like I lost a lot of friends over there, as has JT, and you know, so many other people. And you know, like I watched Chris almost get blown up a lot of times due to the nature of my work. He didn't know he almost got blown up. And for people to open up to that, they need to talk to somebody with equivocal experience. I'm not going to talk to some city guy that, I watched my ex-husband get blown up a few times, and they'll be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, like there has to be an element of relatability, I think.
Some form of understanding, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree 100%. My son-in-law blew up over in Afghanistan, lost his left leg, and I never broached the subject with him. It just, I couldn't. It wasn't my place. It was out of my realm of understanding.
Yeah. And that's fault of anybody's, you know, like
Yeah.
there's a stigma and there's this relatability with us. I mean, I want to talk to somebody that's been there. I want to talk to somebody who knows what we went through. I don't want to talk to some city guy who, you know, oh, well, you have some trauma and that's cool. But like, I want somebody to tell me that has actually been there and been through some stuff that, you know, life will be okay.
Yeah.
That's my point anyway.
Yeah, you want some form of reassurance that everything you've been through was for a reason. Well, I don't know if it's. I'm okay without it being like a reason for it. Like I'm okay with that, but for me, I think the biggest hurdle was relating to someone, and then someone else has been through or had that shared experience, saying it's like you're going to be okay.
They have way more credibility.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna be okay. Yeah. We've done this. We all went on our same little journey.
Yeah. Hey, make sure you fuckers plug my podcast where you're jacking my show, man.
I love Listen, I'm the face of Fire for Effect. I'm not the voice of it, but I'm the face of it.
That's right. Fire for Effect.
Me.
Oh my god.
Jump on YouTube. Search Fire for Effect.
On a completely daily basis, like.
Episode. Sorry, come and hang out back here.
Episode 1, part 2, dropping tonight, Chris, or when's it going to drop?
I'll drop it at midnight.
Anyway,
and this is the picture you want to look for right here on YouTube. That's how you know you got the right channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the only thing is you have to search for it as Fire for Effect podcast. Really? You have to type that in.
Yeah, YouTube's fucking me on because I'm new.
Yeah, they do for the first while.
Okay, what were we talking about? What did I miss?
We were talking about your ability to save lives in your basement just by talking to guys.
Oh, Christ, I'm the wrong guy to talk to.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. I was talking about with your podcast. When guys come in, it turned around back to the lady I told you, the author that wanted to write the book about military, da-da-da-da. Guys would not open up to her because she's never experienced it. How do you open up to a complete stranger about what you've seen, done, and been overseas? Whereas these guys will come into your basement, even if just to talk, we're going to film it. It's going to be on the podcast. At the end of their 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes, however long it takes for them to talk, and they turn and look at you and go, you know what, Chris? I don't want this to air. I don't want anybody to see this. Chris will go, not a problem, man. Done. Delete. Moving on to the next story. At least these guys have somebody to talk to where they can get their story out to somebody that will understand it, somebody they can trust, where when they say, no, nobody sees it, they say, yeah, no, air it, you air it. And that, Chris, that to me is saving lives. You're keeping one guy. One guy that's going to be out there that you're going to keep from in the basement. It will happen. You're going to save lives doing this. Not only that, it's a fucking great podcast. I mean, I watched it 3 fucking times. Just 15 minute podcast. I'm proud of this guy. I'm so proud. You should be, man. You know what? You should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should be. And on that,
take the opportunity.
What's that?
Let me say this. To all naysayers that said you weren't going to do it, fuck you. I just did it.
Yep, finally. We're going to continue doing it. You and I, Chris, will get together in the next week or 2. I'll swing over to your place. We'll play with your lighting a bit. If it needs any adjustment, well, I'll show you on the software what I can. I mean, I'm hacking my way through this as well. I've only been at it 16 times. So I'm hacking my way through it as well. It's a learning curve. We're old. We passed college the other day, right? We went to college the other day. We went past it. Yeah. And that's that.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining me, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Well, yeah, exactly. No problem, man. I got your back. And thank you.
And my dog.
Thank you for having my back.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good night. Go tuck Jimmy in. Go tuck Jimmy in. He's going to get cold.
We'll go take care of him.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Wade.
Is what I'd like to do is I'd like to get the guys from Cruise Morning Show, 95.7. I'd like to interview them one-on-one, 3 weeks in a row, and then all three of them together, and just create a chaotic situation for the stream. I think it'd be fun.
I push that. I might be able to help you with that.
I think it'd be all right, man. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Okay. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Cheers.
Right on. Right on. That was great. Check it out. Check his podcast out. Fire for Effect podcast on YouTube. The first one dropped on September 20th. I wanted to say November 11th. I'm sure he'll have a special one for that day as well. But September 20th, his first episode dropped. It's about 17 minutes long, but it is really good. If you're in the military, if you know somebody that's in the military, or if you know what a military is, or you think you know what a military is, tune in. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, now my co-host is gone. She ran away. I don't know what's going on with my guests and my co-host tonight. They're just running away and dropping like flies, but that's okay. Simple math. I have some simple math for you guys. I'm going to preface this simple math. Oh, there she is. She's back. Hang on. There, push that button. I'm producing my own show. It's very hard.
Hi. I am.
I was just going into the simple math portion of the program.
Oh, no.
Portion of the program where...
I can relate to the simple math, let me tell you. Just let it rip.
I don't know if we're going to take score on this.
Nah, just let it rip. Just let it rip.
Or give out marks or passing grades or... Yeah, we'll just let it rip.
Let it rip.
I'm so fucking tired of this argument because yes, you can still get COVID if you are fully vaccinated, but do you know the statistics to that? Do you know the odds of getting COVID if you are fully vaccinated? Because I do. I'm not a medical expert, but I'm really fucking good at numbers. So let me show you. There are 330 million people in the United States, right? Divide that by the 41 million COVID cases that we've had, and that gives you a 1 in 8 chance of catching COVID in the United States. 1 in 8 people have gotten COVID in the United States. Of those 41 million people, you've had 670,000 or so deaths. Right? That's a 1 in 61. 1 in 61 people in the United States have died from COVID. 1 in 61 people who have gotten COVID in the United States have died. Okay? Let's take this further. There are 173 million people who are fully vaccinated in the United States. Right? Do you know how many breakthrough cases there have been? Since as of August 30th, there's been 12,908. That gives you a 1 in 13,402 chances of catching COVID if you are fully vaccinated. 1 in 13,402 versus 1 in 8. Let's take it a step further. There have been 2,437 deaths related to COVID, or people who are COVID positive and fully vaccinated, right? 480 of those aren't related to COVID, which means that they died from a car accident or something totally unrelated to COVID. So we're going to round that to 2,000. 173 million people in the United States are fully vaccinated. Divide that by the 2,000 that have died fully vaccinated from COVID. That gives you a 1 in 86,500 chances of getting COVID and dying if you are fully vaccinated. So unvaccinated, you have a 1 in 8 chance of catching COVID. You have a 1 in 61 chance of dying from COVID. And fully vaccinated, you have a 1 in 13,402 chances of catching COVID and a 1 in 86,500 chances of dying from COVID. How about we all just realize that billions of shots have been given worldwide, billions of people have been fully vaccinated, and we have a way to end this pandemic. We have a way for children to stop losing their fucking parents. Go get the fucking shot.
Extremely fucking powerful.
Yes, it is.
That young lady had lost her parents to COVID 2 weeks prior to her doing that video. Just incredible.
I'd be angry too. I'd be angry.
Nope.
I've lost a lot of people that I know. To date, I know 5 people that are still insistent that no, this isn't real. I'm not getting a shot. I'm not doing it. But this week I've seen, since the new what do you call them, restrictions have come out in the last couple of days, I've seen an influx steady of people coming in for their first shots, and it has nothing to do with the government buying your shots for $100. It has everything to do with jobs saying, no, you can't work here.
Yep, exactly. I delivered to warehouses, and it turns out the warehouses were kind of lying to their employees by saying, if you don't get the shot, you can't work here because we're a public entity and we have truckers coming in and out. It's a public place. It's still a private business. So it doesn't fall in the restaurant bar guidelines.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's a different entity. But even still,
the one warehouse I went into that normally has 40, 45 guys running around, they had 4. So
it needs to be done. It needs to be done. Like you can't protect the ones that have done the right thing by not protecting anybody else.
Yeah.
And we all try to step up and take the vaccine as a protection for others, so we wouldn't infect others. And now people are getting turned away at hospitals because those that doesn't exist are taking up bed space for people who really need it.
94.7% of the COVID cases are unvaccinated, taking up the ICU beds.
I think they should go one further. If you have COVID and you haven't gotten your shot yet, it's been 9 months. I'm sorry. Alberta Healthcare's cut off to you.
Yes.
End of story.
They've got to do something.
They got to do something drastic.
I was on another podcast earlier today with a scientist who broke down the numbers, and the situation Alberta's in right now, he's from Ontario, but he assessed the Alberta situation on the podcast. And he broke it down that if everybody had been vaccinated, our hospital utilization rate would be like it is on any other fucking day of the week.
Well, and I'm seeing time, like people that are coming in and wearing scrubs, getting their first shots.
Yeah, and that's
seriously?
scary, isn't it?
Yeah, that is very scary because as
medical
far as we knew,
that should fucking know better.
We knew that we thought everybody had their shots as the hospital outlined in spring, like back in January.
I guess not. Moving on. That's enough.
Yeah.
I'm sick of COVID.
I'm sick of politics. I'm sick of COVID. I'm sick of this weather. I am sick of it all.
So let's go into this. Remember this album?
Yeah.
Yep. Abbey Lane. Where's Abbey Lane?
We passed it yesterday.
Yeah, Sherwood Park. That's why I threw this one up first. How many people had this album? Lots of people. A great album. I'm just going to go through a few albums here. Albums that you may have had, I may have had, some of you might have had. This was another great album. I remember this album. It's fantastic. Jeff Lynne, phenomenal songwriter, guitarist. That was a great album. This album was the biggest selling debut album ever. This one and Meatloaf. I think Bad Outta Hell was right up there too, but this Boston album was huge. That was actually recorded and produced in Tom Schultz's basement. This album, one of the first albums I ever bought on 8-track. That's right, I'm that old. I had a fucking 8-track. Queen of Night at the Opera.
At least you're showing albums, not cassettes. You'd have to get a pencil to show a cassette.
My eyes aren't that good anymore. And of course, probably one of the most recognizable, biggest rock and roll bands in the world. Zeppelin 1. That just everybody had this album. If you were into rock and roll, you had this album. There's no two ways about it. Everybody had it. Then we go.
If for no other reason but the scream. Ah. Was on that album, wasn't it? One or four. I don't remember. What you had both. If you had one, you had four.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you didn't, well, we beat you up. Another great album. Great movie too.
Yeah, still going.
Still a cult classic. Every Halloween. Got to break that one out and watch it. It's a great movie. That ranks right up there with Slapshot. In my movie list. I love me a Slapshot. And then you've got, I actually stole these from Bonzi's collection. His mom sent them to me. Sarge sent them to me. She said, you can have Bonesy's albums. It's not a bad Sarge. So, yeah. This
Got
is
it.
the one he used. Yeah.
Got it.
I think we
Need it. Got it. No.
Yeah, it's like hockey cards, eh? Got it, need it, got it. I think we have most of these in the basement.
Most of them.
Most of them. I don't know what's happening to my English here. One more, just for shits and giggles.
I have that.
And we have that in the basement too. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do that every now and again. Maybe every week. I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. See
As we sell them off.
As we say. Yeah, anybody wants to buy albums? What do we have?
What don't we have?
How many albums do you figure we have?
In the basement, there's 500, and upstairs, give or take, 350. It's about 850 albums, give or take.
Yeah, probably close to 1,000 albums.
And then my parents, when they decide what they're going to do with theirs, there's over 3,500 albums there.
Yeah.
Another 500 45s. Oh, that's not including 45s. I brought about 100 45s.
Yeah, and a pile of CDs.
Yeah. Oh, a ton of CDs. I think I still got some cassettes too.
Yeah.
A couple 78s.
78s in the basement. I don't think there's any 16s. I think they got broken.
Yeah, they're very brittle.
Thick and brittle. Very brittle. I don't know how many of the 78s are left either. But
and a USB turntable with a brand new needle.
Yeah. I got rid of the reel-to-reel. I got rid of all the reels.
Thank God.
24 hours of CBC relaxing music.
I don't even know whose basement tapes those were, but oh my God, you're an idiot.
I stole those out of the radio station in Hay River.
You're a techno
I was working in Hay
dork.
River as a DJ, and
no, we had a garage sale. We got rid of all the kid stuff to the neighbor next door, and you came home with carts of crap.
oh, those ones there. But originally, I came home from Hay River with a pile of that shit too, because I worked in a radio station up there. They went bankrupt, and the owner came in and said, "I can't pay you guys any money, so help yourself." So I fucking did. I took everything. Dave Hamilton has most of. I shouldn't say that out loud because it's all stolen. Dave Hamilton has it all. Dave Hamilton.
Well, he must, because I haven't seen any of it.
No, I think I left it all at Dave's place up in Hay River. I was going to pawn it or something. I forget. I don't know.
96 hours in hell.
Back in the golden era of radio.
96 hours in hell.
CBC radio tapes. Oh, but I have a bitch about.
Do your voice. Do your DJ voice.
Which one?
Oh, I don't know. K97.
K97. There's a story there too. I came home from someplace. I don't even remember where I was. Stoned on acid. One of the 4 times I did acid. And I quit doing it because I fucking liked it so much. But I got home and it was, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning. I gotta have a bath. That'll make me feel better. That'll help me get to sleep. I gotta come down. I'm really stoned. So I get in the bathtub and I lay down and head under the water, up to here type deal. K97. K97. Because the guy they had doing the station intro, very baritone, very basic, right? So I'm in there. K97. All of a sudden I hear on the bathroom door, "You okay in there?" K97. "Wade, it's Mom. Are you okay in there?" "Oh, yeah. No, I'm fine, Mom. I'm fine.
Dave's not here."
Yeah, it was just about a Dave's not here moment. Yeah, no, I'm fine, Mom. I had a few beers at the bar, and I had a girl puke on me, so I figured I'd have a bath. "Well, can you keep it down? Because I thought my radio was going off." So it's like, "Mom, you don't even listen to K97. Yeah, fun times. But Sean was wondering, it's Friday night. Must be a good show because nobody's bitching. Well, I got a bitch about supper last night.
Oh.
First off, we went for
the RV
Thai
was
food.
A bitch.
We went out for Thai food last night, and when it comes to my foods, I'm really reserved. I don't really all that often try new foods.
I make you.
Dough makes me, but We went out for Thai. This is the second time we've been to this place. The first time we were there, I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best meals I've ever had. And we went out last night to the same place again, and I'm thinking, well, first time was just fantastic. It's going to be hard to top it. Well, they topped it, and I want to go for Thai food now. Oh. So that's my bitch. I want to go now.
That's how I was last time.
9:15. They're closing in 45 minutes, and it's an hour drive from here, so we're not going to make it. Fuck, is it ever good? Like, we had beef and mushrooms last night, and I had the Yum Tom scallops. I'm not big into spicy food. This shit was spicy, but holy fuck was it good.
And lots of scallops.
I mean, I think they charged us $25 for that plate, and there had to have been $40 worth of scallops on there.
Best coconut rice ever.
It was. So what did we have for supper tonight? Let's refer to Chef Wade's recipe book. What did we have for supper tonight, Wade? We had canned chicken noodle soup and grilled cheese sandwiches.
That was my call, though.
What a letdown. Yeah, I know, but I made it. I could have done it. You weren't home from work. I could have made it whatever I wanted. Oh, don't want this? Okay, I'll make this.
I said or a fried egg and cheese sandwich. I really didn't care.
Yeah, well, that would be just as big a letdown, too. After last night's supper? Oh, man.
Always wear your coat to the river. Why, Sean?
What's this? 2 rules I was brought up on. 1, eat the meat at the smorg. And 2, always wear your coat to the river.
I've actually gotten kicked out of all you can eats.
I had my mother tell me to wear my raincoat once when I was going out on a date. Is that kind of the same thing?
That's a different raincoat.
Yeah,
you can take it off now. We're married.
I used to cause my mother so much grief.
You still do. Every time we go over there and you wear that shirt from Mexico.
It's the only reason I wear it, man. Where are you going? Out. Out where? Out someplace.
No kids.
What time are you going to be home? I'll be home when I get here. No, really. What time will you be home? Okay, Mom, I'll make you a deal. If I'm not in bed by 11, I'll come home. Bang, on the floor. She was out. My dad, why in the fuck do you do this to your mother? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get out of here. No kids being cold.
They weren't allowed to be cold.
Sean. Have you and Bonzi been doing mushrooms tonight with James D. Fiore? Have you? These messages you're sending really have a influx of mushroom to them, buddy.
Eat the meat at the smorg. It's not a bad thing. You get your money's worth that way.
Eat the shrimp. Eat the seafood.
Yeah, and then you get kicked out.
Yeah,
like I did.
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
You said it
You're
was
not
all
supposed to peel the shrimps. Why am I doing Bonzi's mom's voice again? Don't peel the shrimps. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Serve me shrimp without the batter. It's simple.
I guess it's better than doing his Chinese hooker voice.
You're going to bring that one up again.
That was funny.
You should change your title to Picking on Bonzi, but follows the Bonzi show.
Yeah, where we come and rip apart Bonzi's show. We slag Bonzi, rip him apart, and his producer too. Right, Sean? No comment. Well, I think that's about it for me, man. We've been at this for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Good show, though. Good show. Chris, a hell of a nice guy. I want to help him out any way I can.
Yeah, I think that would make huge playtime with like what he wants to do, go out in the streets and stuff, and then bring it into his podcast. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
get the message out there, and people would start helping people, not just going lip service, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a huge difference.
Check out his podcast, Fire and Effect Podcast. Look it up on YouTube. Sean, go have a watch, man. If you even know somebody that was in the military at one point in your life, somebody's uncle for whatever, go watch it because it is absolutely fantastic. I don't know.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thanks, Gwendolyn. I don't know. It's a great podcast. I'll continue watching. I'll help Chris any way I can with what limited experience I have doing this. I can do some photography for him. I could set up
think
his
he
lighting for him.
hit it on the nose though when he created a safe space. I think
Yeah,
that will help a lot of people. Just in speaking, getting it off their chest.
Exactly, and it's funny how that came about because
The more you talk about the trauma, the easier it is to get past it.
The
That's
author
a
I
really
know-
healthy thing.
the author I know that tried to venture into this and nobody would talk to her, and then Chris and JT mentioning all this stuff. It's like, you know what? This is why they wouldn't talk to her. This is why they will talk to you. You will save somebody's life doing this, Chris, and he will. It's inevitable. Somebody is going to sit down with Chris and go, this and that, and this and that. And Chris, I was there. I did it. I completely understand.
Well, it's not even that. Just people sitting back, listening and watching. Somebody's going to hit on something that sparks something in
too.
them.
Yeah.
Right. So then,
There's going to be a
make a
point. I
difference.
have a feeling with Chris's podcast, there's going to be a point where he's not going to have to reach out for guys to come to him. Guys are going to be reaching out to come to him to talk.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen very quickly. I think he's going to be very, very, very surprised. So.
Yeah, I think it'll help a lot of lost souls.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyways, on behalf of myself and my lovely wife Doris, Doe.
Thank you.
Anything to snack on out there?
I think there's more soup if you want.
No, I ate all the soup. There's nothing.
That's
left.
okay. I didn't have anything for lunch either, so I had soup.
You had a sub for lunch, you said.
Oh yeah, right. But you didn't bring home any meat to put in a sandwich, so
I brought home
had
ham
to.
sausage. That's meat.
After I was at work, you didn't bring it to me at work. Right, going past me. Hi.
I wouldn't go
Look, hon,
past
I
you.
brought you lunch. Jesus.
I didn't go past you. I
Well,
can't
you had
count
to because you went to Mundare.
in
And the
Edmonton.
shop is on the other side of Lamont. Hello.
Edmonton. Mundare Sausage House in Edmonton. Not in Mundare. I had a delivery across the street at a mechanic shop there. I had to drop an engine off. That's why it's the most
Yeah, but
expensive
you still
delivery.
had to drop your truck off at Lamont.
I can't drive the semi down Main Street Lamont. It's not a truck route.
But you got into your car, dude.
I know, but the extra 4 kilometers in fuel. It's a Mustang. How is it on gas? It burns lots, baby.
Especially when you don't keep the rubber side down. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta light those turbos up. They gotta get the dust out of them, right?
You're just scared of the local RCMP.
They can't keep up. One of our legions locally closed their doors and lowered their flag this week.
That's sad.
That's horrible. It is horrible. What does this world come to?
It's a crapshoot.
It is. It's just horrible. And Gwendolyn even says, sorry to hear that, Sean. But I know for a fact legions are suffering in a big way just with membership and people just showing up for a beer. People don't think to go to the legion, I've been in a legion more times in the last 5 or 6 years than I ever was in my lifetime. And that's all to do with Kurt. With his funeral, his services, his memorial, his wake. When we finally did the burial, we were in a legion for all of them.
The
And
medals.
that's-
Yeah.
And there's nobody there. The medal presentations, and there's very few people there. That was the St. Albert Legion we were in. Our vets literally get nothing. You're 100% right. They get fuck all. Absolutely fuck all. The Canadian
And you got to
government,
fight for every bit of it.
the Canadian government doesn't have anything more to give, though, Sean.
Yeah, don't forget that.
How
when you
fucking
vote.
pathetic is that? I can't even get started because
Well,
I'll lose
and you
my
know
mind.
what's even as bad in a different way is in talking to a couple weeks ago, a lady mentioned, and I work with a lot of retirees that come into the drugstore and stuff, and I've looked up what pensions, and a lot of these women are with a widow's pension and what they earned as a pension, and a lot of them were, in the 50s, didn't have a job, so they don't have a lot. Their pensions, old age pension and security, they're roughly making about $1,300 a month. One lady came in, and this was about a month ago, and she mentioned that the government took back $800 of her pension. And it's like, well, why? She didn't know either. She's tried calling them. And of course, with COVID, everybody's working from
good
home,
luck.
but nobody can answer their damn phone. She's tried. I don't think she had any resolve, but that left her $287 to live off of for the month. Well, extended care, when you're in extended care or in one of the happy homes, we call them, it's basically a bed, 4 walls, and a TV. There's nothing else in there. You have a common room, you have your common area where you eat, and you're paying $1,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how she managed to make her rent that month. I think she had to borrow it from somebody. But $287, can you live on $287? And then today another guy came in and he was mad because last month his pension was short $440 that they took for some reason. No letter, no explanation, no nothing. And then again this month, his pension $440 short. How are you taking money away from pensioners and why? Without any notice. It's absolute crimes going on.
That's just bullshit and chicken. Just like I said,
There's
I'm
my
not gonna
bitch
get
for the
started.
week. There's
I'm
my
not gonna
bitch
get
for the
started.
week. Take care of your own.
Thanks for finally contributing to a podcast with a bitch.
Got to spark something, right? I need
Oh, well.
sparks. Sparks.
Sparks plugs. I'll try and remember that for next weekend, for next week's podcast.
Now the claws are out.
Yeah.
Now I
Maybe
won't
we
sleep. Thanks a
Maybe
lot.
we should do a Sunday morning church service podcast.
If you get me out of bed, that will be the bitch fest on a Sunday morning.
Sean, you know what? You're 100% right. Put the seniors in prison and put our criminals in long-term care homes. You're 100%.
Yeah,
Criminals get
exactly.
way better treatment in a fucking prison. Yeah.
Well,
And
in dental, there was another lady that came in and she had to have her teeth pulled. I mean, that's given, right?
Yeah.
You get to a certain age, you got to get your teeth pulled, get dentures. She had to find a way to get a loan at 71 years old to get a freaking loan to get her teeth pulled so she could get dentures, which she doesn't have coverage for either.
Yeah, I know.
Once you get to be 65, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You did your life due diligence and paying your taxes and shit. Just let them have a life.
Why do you think I keep harping, let's get the fuck out of Canada, let's retire someplace else? Why do you think I keep kicking my own ass? There's my bitch. I married
healthcare, it's not
I married
free.
a chick 5 years younger than me. Bad move.
Silly man.
Bad move. Because now I'm sitting here fucking waiting for you. Fuck. Fuck. Me and the dog have that same hairballs. Like,
Wasn't sure if that was you or the cat.
if the cat's puking in the kitchen, it was the cat. If
Well, you're
puking
down
in
the
here, it was
hall
me.
and it kind of sounds like it was coming from, right behind me.
Maybe I'll go to Mexico and start without you.
Oh, I guess you are anyways, right?
I'll go down and find a place and set up shop and just for 5 years wait for you. I won't do anything.
Yeah, you're going to let me stuck with all this crap.
Go get my Gibbs. Go to La Panita, see my hairdresser, get my La Gibbs.
I
good to
don't
go.
know that if he does get into office this time around, Sean, I think he might actually find, he'll need the army to bail him out for extra guard.
Actually, I think if he gets in with a minority, I don't think that minority government will last very long. I think it'll fall very rapidly, and we'll be doing another election within a year. Or if he barely gets in with a minority, like, a 2 or 3 or 10 or 15 seat minority, I think the Liberal Party might just punt him. They might say, you know what, enough's enough. Also harping on Doe, you need the dumpster fire pick. The dumpster fire pick. Why would a guy have a dumpster fire pick? That is so overused by everybody
Dumpster
that
fire.
has a podcast. Everybody fucking uses it. That one? I like this one though because it's even at center ice. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, it's at center ice. That's why I like that one. It's in the crease rather. See how that works, Sean? Okay, fuck it. Enough fucking around with Sean. I'm out of here. I'm hungry. I gotta pee. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my sponsor. I don't have one. I fired my sponsor because I don't have a t-shirt yet.
I can make you a t-shirt.
It's a long, drawn-out story. My daughter makes cups like this. She was my sponsor. She was making me cups. So I gave her some free plugs. I sent her a pile of work from a radio station, and
she went back to school.
Crickets. I sent her a pile of work from someplace else, too. Somebody else. Crickets.
I can make you a shirt, but it's going to be all of
knitted
Sharpies.
Sharpies, yeah.
I don't know how to wash, but hey, I can make you one.
Yeah. What's Sean saying? No, that's if you're harping on dough. I'm always harping on dough.
That's
what makes our marriage work. We harp on each other, dude. It's
give and take.
We've been married for 164 years.
And 3 days.
And 3 days. And 14 hours. And 7 minutes. And 58 seconds. 59 seconds.
That's we were looking at RV wars yesterday, and boy, that was a crapshoot because they have all these guidelines and yet nobody's doing it. But yeah, we found a motorhome that we really, really like, and he was trying to guide me towards small ones, and I looked at the guy and I said, "Dude," I said, "I'll kill him." He's like, "What?" And I says, 26 feet. I'm living in it. Do you think he's going to be living there with me for very long? And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, some people just don't get the concept of long-term living in an RV.
Oh, well, 8 feet will make a difference.
Oh, damn right it does. As we saw the in that one bus with
Sean.
With the bunks. Good night, Sean. We saw that one bus with the bunks where I went, what the fuck good are these bunks? You can't fit a kid in them. Like, they're useless. And you went,
Kona bed.
Oh, the dog could sleep on the lower one and the upper one's storage. And it's like, that's the one I want.
Got to think outside of the box or the bunk.
Or the RV in this case. Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is it. I said good night 38,000 times. It's now good night because I'm peeing my pants as I sit here. My leg's getting warm, but I know it's going to get cold and tacky in about 2 minutes.
Then it becomes my show.
Then it becomes your show. But remember, I have the control, right? Right. It's too much fun. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for toughing it out. Like I said, check out Fire for Effect podcast on YouTube. Chris is a great guy, great show. It's really well done for somebody on his first ever podcast. He's actually done it really, really well. Jump in, give him a like, give him a subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Let's get him up and running. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start promoting a lot of these new podcasts. Not that I'm, been around for 100 years or anything. I'm new too, but we'll start promoting some new stuff and get some more content out there that you guys might enjoy watching. Because TV sucks. Let's face it. I haven't seen a good fucking TV show in years. So yeah, that's about it, man. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next Friday, if not beforehand, if something stupid comes up. But until then, have a good weekend. And do it to them before they do it to you.